What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday. I'm literally recording this and uploading it on the same day, literally like an hour later, which I never do. I usually do videos like a day before, but this I had to make a video on because this is crazy, guys. This is probably the all-time, it's hard to say all-time low because you never know what can happen next week, but this right now is probably one of the all-time lowest moments for Call of Duty in the franchise. This is coming after, you know, the whole Activision, like basically mistreating employees, after the whole skill-based matchmaking thing, the DSR nerf, just all-time low of the low, right there. I don't even know what they could do after this, but they trust me, they'll find something to mess up if you aren't aware of what I'm talking about. Basically, I'm talking about the whole Nickmercs thing, okay? If you weren't on Twitter yesterday, Twitter blew up, not even just in the gaming and not even just in the Call of Duty community, but I saw like articles later on from like Kotaku and other like news sources talking about this because Nickmercs, if you weren't aware, he had his own bundle. He and Tim the Tatman got their own bundles, in the game, maybe like, what, 3 weeks ago, a month or so ago, and essentially it got removed. If you want to know why, keep watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hopefully you enjoy the gameplay, and yeah, let's get into it. Basically, he saw this tweet about, I don't even know what it was about. I didn't watch the video. I think many people didn't even watch the video, but it was about children in some way. And he responded to it. He goes, "Children should be, quote unquote, left alone in schools and not educated on LGBTQ topics." And he became a focal point because of this. Now, I'm not going to give my take on this, okay? I'm not trying to say like, oh, he's right for this, he's wrong for this. I know, either way, you're going to upset 50% of the community. And either way, you're not going to change anyone's mind. So I'm not going to comment on that specifically. I do want to say, well, okay, rather before I get to that, let's talk about his apology, because he did, quote unquote, apologize the next morning because he went on Twitch and, there was a little clip out there. He's like, "I didn't mean to upset anybody." Nonetheless, reiterating that he believes that school is no place to speak on things like that. He says, "It's not that I think I shouldn't have spoken about it. If that's what you got from the tweet, then you're just wrong," which is very... I mean, he's sticking with it, he's doubling down. He's not saying like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that," or whatever. And I mean, obviously he got a lot of flack for this because, like I said, when you say something like this, you're going to upset 50% of the community, and the other 50% you're going to be a hero for. So you're not going to please everybody, but, people are going to try to cancel you just because you're speaking your own opinion. However, some people that he did not think were going to cancel him was Call of Duty themselves, because Charlie Intel actually tweeted later that night. He says, "It appears Activision has removed the Nickmercs bundle from the Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 store this evening. Activision has not commented on why it's been removed, but the removal of his bundle comes a day after Nickmercs' recent comments about the LGBTQ community." Seeing this, very, very interestingly enough, Call of Duty replies to Charlie Intel and says, "Due to recent events, we have removed the Nickmercs operator bundle from the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone store. We are focused on celebrating pride with our employees and our community." And that is basically what caused the storm to happen. Okay, first things first, why is Call of Duty responding to Charlie Intel instead of being upfront with the community right up front, like without needing this to spark? Like, you can read this tweet and then just tweet on your own like, "Hey, we did this because of XYZ," but like, why are you responding to Charlie Intel? This proves that you're seeing what Charlie Intel says. And I don't know, to my knowledge, Charlie Intel, yes, they tweet a lot about bundles and stuff like that, but, they also tweet about, "Hey, COD community, can you do something good? Can you do this? Can you do that?" Like, they see this and they don't do anything, but yet they see Nickmercs, they see this bundle thing about Nickmercs, and like literally within an hour, they drop an update on this. "Oh, surprise, surprise, it's about the store." Wow, big surprise that they act so quickly. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... Why are you so quick to talk about this when it's about the store, when it's about money, but when it's about the game, when it's about, playlists, when it's about maps or perks, crickets. Don't hear anything about it. Maybe it's a different team, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're still talking about something, and you're not talking about something else very proactively. The next thing that people are very wildly upset about is that they feel like his freedom of speech was taken away. And I tend to kind of agree here. This is where I'm going to kind of pick a side. I don't think necessarily it's freedom of speech, but I think it's it's like you can't have an opposing opinion to Call of Duty, right? If you're signed with Call of Duty, you basically have to believe what they say. You have to stand with Pride. You have to, believe in XYZ, and you have to promote XYZ. And because he didn't, because he wanted to have a mind of his own, or because he thought things that I guess differed from the world of Call of Duty, he was canceled. He had his operator bundle removed, and obviously a lot of people out there are attacking this guy right now. Quick side note, I don't really care about Nickmercs either way. I don't think he is the best person to put in Call of Duty, not because he sucks or anything, but because he doesn't seem to play the game. I've never really seen him, play the game in a long time. I know he played like Warzone 1 back in the day, but since then, I haven't really seen him touch Warzone. I haven't really seen him touch Call of Duty, ranked play, anything like that. So I don't know. I feel like he just moved on, and I feel like Call of Duty kind of picked him up a little late. That's just my opinion. I feel like if you got him in like 2019 or something, made him a skin there, 2020, that would make sense. But 2023, you're a little late there. Another thing that a lot of people are curious about is that what's going to happen to people who already own the bundle, right? Like, are you just going to take away their skin in game? Are you just going to take it away and not give people money back? Like, I would assume you give people money back, right? If you're going to take it away. Otherwise, you're going to let people keep it, but then, you don't agree with Nickmercs' opinions on the LGBTQ, so you're going to have people in the game running around with someone who disagrees with your opinion. Like, it's just such a mess, you know what I mean? I think that Call of Duty handled this really poorly. First off, they could have easily just ignored this, right? Like, I feel like it takes a special kind of person to be like, hey, I disagree with Nickmercs' opinion on this, and because he's sponsored by Call of Duty, I'm boycotting Call of Duty. Call of Duty is no stranger to boycotts. They get literally boycotted every time there's a new battle pass coming out, right? Like, they shouldn't really care about this, but I think because it hurts a certain demographic, or because a certain type of person, basically someone who stands with Pride, someone who's, all about that. Again, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, someone who stands with this, once they're offended, all of a sudden, Call of Duty, we got to protect them. We got to do something about this. We got to cancel someone to protect these guys. It's a lot of pandering. You know what I mean? What happened to the people who are hurt by, I don't know, skill-based matchmaking? What about the people who, who their IPs got hacked through Cold War? You're not going to do anything about that. You're not going to pander to them. You know what I mean? It's very pick and choosy. It's just you're catering to a certain demographic to appear woke, and that's what everyone is mad about, right? It's not just the fact that you're canceling someone. I don't think anyone's a huge fan of cancel culture, but you're pandering, you're catering to a certain degree of person, and it's so obvious. You know what I mean? Like I said, like an hour after Charlie Intel tweets this, you're on this already. Versus Cold War being hacked for like, what was it, like a week and a half, and then you finally made like a new Twitter account and mentioned it once. By the way, they do have a new Twitter account. It's called like COD updates or something like that, where I guess they're going to talk about COD updates. Although I don't think they talked about the Nickmercs bundle there either. So I don't know, man. Like, where's the real updates? What's going to happen to people who already bought the bundle, right? Like, is it just like a super rare collector's item now? Because, hey, if you bought the bundle now, you could sell that account. And that account's going to be worth a lot more money than it was before. But yeah, it's just a really awkward situation. I personally would not have handled this. I don't think his opinion, or not really, okay, I don't want to talk about his opinion, but to be honest, I don't think what he said was that controversial. Whether you agree with his point or not, like, a lot of people kind of like changed the narrative to like the P word, the PEDO. I don't want to say it just in case like YouTube's going to clamp down on me, but like the PEDO word, they think like they think that he's like in support of that or something like that. Like, I think people got it all twisted. I think people jumped to so many conclusions. I don't think Call of Duty like read the whole story, and they kind of just assume things about Nickmercs as well. And I think that's kind of what led to this. My guess is that Call of Duty probably got tweeted like a million times, hey, Nickmercs is a PEDO, Nickmercs doesn't believe in this, Nickmercs da. Instead of like going to Nickmercs and just being like, hey, maybe you should take that down, or hey, we don't stand with this, please don't do this again, please don't be vocal about this or something. Like, give him a chance. Like, maybe he's like, hey, you know what, I'm not going to sit down and not talk about this. Maybe he comes out and says that, fine. But, give him a chance instead of just like randomly pulling the plug on his operator, pulling the plug on basically the creator side of this. And, I think it was Modern Warzone. He basically said something, and I finally agree with something he said. But he was like, "Yeah, don't expect to see any like creators in Modern Warfare 2 or in Call of Duty anytime soon." And I can see why. I think that the bridge is kind of burned here. At the same time, I don't think they chose the best person for the job. I think that there's better people you could have had to represent Modern Warfare 2 and like an operator bundle. I think like FaZe Jeff, for instance, Dr. Disrespect. I know you cut ties with him too, but there's a lot more people who play Call of Duty, who are passionate about Call of Duty. Scump, Swag, even that basically got shafted, and then you're gonna put Nickmercs in, and obviously it was a kind of a cash grab move because you obviously don't agree with his stances on things before you hired him on. So I don't know. It's another L for Call of Duty. It's another L for Activision. It is what it is at this point. I'm sure there's going to be more news developing, in the future. I don't want to sound like a newscast here, but yeah, I thought this was really, really interesting. I wanted to make a video as soon as I could. I know it's a little late, but this happened like last night on Twitter, and this video is going to go up at like, I don't know, a couple hours. So yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. If this is the first video you're watching, welcome. I try to do COD videos pretty often. And if you enjoyed the sound of my voice or the gameplay you watched, then leave a like and subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good weekend. Peace, and peace.